Hey everyone, it's Tobes here from thguitarist.com. Going to go through some more beginner chord ideas to get your hands moving. So once again, we're not really learning chords, we're learning how to get your hands moving around the neck and playing more comfortably. Because let's face it, when you start playing guitar, it's not easy. It does get easier though, lots of practice. So let's get right into it. One of the things we did a little bit on using hammer-ons within your chords. That was one thing we did in the last lesson. What I want to do now is, for practicing chord changes, excuse me, is hammering on the whole chord just to practice. So for instance, if you're playing an A minor chord, you take all your fingers off at the same time and you try and hammer on each finger onto the string at the same time. So from having your hand off, make the shape, get it in the right position, make sure it sounds like that. Then don't worry about the pulling off sound. The main idea is just to get that all the fingers playing at the same time, or hammering on at the same time. You can move that shape. It's an E major shape as well. You can use your last three fingers, which is something we did from the last lesson. Using any chords you know, just try and hammer on the notes, because it builds up the strength in your fingers and the coordination. And yeah, you want to try and make your fingers as accurate and as strong as possible. Alright, so that was one thing. You can do it with any chord. You can do it with bar chords. There's riffs, there's songs made out of these kind of those ideas. Hammering on, so I'm playing a C minor. So you can come up with some cool ideas. Experiment with not hammering on every note. Try hammering on. So that's one thing. The next one was using a shape you already know for another chord. Because one thing on the guitar, some people say there's no shortcuts, and I kind of think there is, but you still have to do the practice and you have to know how to make a shortcut. And I've come up with these things after the 20 years or so that I've been playing. And so one of them was, whenever you can make a shape or a scale or something on the guitar, you can turn it into something else. For instance, easy to explain, a C major chord, any chord, doesn't matter, I'll use C major. You slide that chord up the neck, one fret at a time, and you listen to the sound it makes. Outside of this position, it's not really going to be a C major chord anymore. So what we want to do, just have a listen. It sounds weird, but some of it sounded okay. So that's a nice one. It's evil, weird. Another weird one. I don't mind that one, sounds nice. It's bizarre. That's alright. Yeah. No. Back to the start. So we've essentially played 11 different chords: C sharp major, D flat something, D something. So we don't know what those chords are. I'm taking it as this is my root note. We can use other notes for root note, but I won't get into that confusing stuff right now. So the concept is, take a chord shape, move it around and see what it sounds like, and you can play songs that are just based around one chord shape. If I played something like that. Some of you might have heard of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, rather famous band, they're quite good. They had a song back when I was in school, they had Breaking the Girl. E major shape. So they've done the same thing I'm talking about, taking a shape, around. So you can do this. You don't have to necessarily understand what you're doing at this stage. I think it's very good. I like theory, I understand it, and it does help. But at this stage, if you're a beginner, it's good just to be able to make nice sounds. So one chord could be turned into at least minimum of 11 other chords. And that doesn't mean you have to, you don't have to just keep it on the same strings. You can take, like here, perfect example, E major shape on the next set of strings is an A minor. And then you can move it down again. And you get a minor major sound, which is another type of chord. So that's with the same fingering. So you can do the same thing all over the guitar. It's just something that your fingers are more comfortable with. Last but not least, exploring what's available around your fingers and chord shapes that you already have. You have got a number of options. When you're doing, you may have heard these kind of things. Something like that, I don't know, there's heaps of variations. But one thing I find is a really good thing to do is rearrange your fingers if you have to, but try and explore what's available. If, for instance, a lot of these first chords we play, they don't use the last finger. There's a bunch of them which just use the first three. So, why not make the little guy do something? Usually you can't stretch this far to the 4th fret when you've been beginning, but even in this position it's not comfortable, but it's a minor major 7 chord. But what my exercise is, excuse me, my allergies are killing me. Tuning, good stuff. It's a bit hot in my apartment, so my guitar's going out of tune. Alright, so the idea. Not a huge fan of that sound, but some of them sound good, some of them sound bad. The same as these ones. What you do is you just explore it. It's all about getting a sound that you like. Your ear is going to hopefully tell you it sounds good or not. So from this you might have a progression. Let's just say it's an A minor to a C major chord. Nothing too scary. Then we have melody. Just mucking around on it. So you're exploring the ideas. Yeah, just seeing what's around your fingers, seeing what's available. If I'm playing E major, and yeah, you get these interesting combinations of scales and chords. So you can come up with other ideas. So, that was it. That was the main one I wanted to go through today. Hammering on your chords for getting your accuracy up and strength. Then using the same shape up the guitar neck to come up with different sounds. Eventually learn how to tell everyone what they are, or write them down and know what you're talking about. And then little chord melody ideas. So that's it. That was just a pretty chilled lesson. If you like it, subscribe, pass it on to anyone that may get something out of it, and I will see you next time. Yeah, take it easy. Cheers.